We continue with our next lesson from the Windows Server 2016 series, and this is an overview of the Windows Server 2016 monitoring tools. Hello friends, this is Nick from NOB Solutions, and today I'm going to make a video on the topic of how you can monitor your Windows Server 2016. And of course I'm going to concentrate on the already built-in tools that Microsoft added into the 2016 version of the server. And as you already know, and if you are already familiar with the server itself, there are no huge upgrades, no new huge features that were included related to monitoring tools and how you can use them to overview the performance on your environment. So I'm going to go through the list of tools that are built in really fast, and then in the end I'm going to make a new thing that I haven't done in this channel, and this is we're going to configure an event subscription, and this is going to be a centralized location for all the event logs that we pre-configure, so they can be stored on a single server and you can have a better overview of what is going on within your environment. So first, to start with, I have 3 virtual machines running at the moment. First, my domain controller, second one is my WSUS server, and the third one is my storage server. Of course, on the top right side of the screen you will see the BG info. In there you will be able to keep track of the changes if I swap through the remote desktops, so you will know where exactly are we at the moment. So the first tool that I want to overview is the Task Manager. Of course, this is a simple tool that you are really familiar. It's not a new tool, and only the view and some additional features changed in the past, making it better. But this is the first small view that you will see when you open the Task Manager. But when you click on more details, a bit granular information will show about the system that you are running on, and this is the pretty much a snapshot of the current resources that are being used on the server that you are on at the moment. So you can see the first tab is called processes. In there you will see the CPU and memory usage for all of the processes. If you left click on the memory, for example, this will sort in a descending order all the memory usage for different services. So if you are experiencing any problems with high CPU or high memory usage, this is the first way, the easiest way for you to find what is the process that is causing the high CPU or memory usage. The next tab is the performance tab. In there you will see a graphical interface of the CPU, memory, Ethernet, and any disks. Here I don't have any, but they will be populated here as well. It's going to be the disk usage that you have on your system. So in here you will have more granular information, and nice thing to see is the uptime as well. So this is a fast way for you to see if there is a problem with the uptime or if the server was restarted recently. So this is a nice way to see the uptime. If you go through the other options on the left, you will see that you have the memory. Again, a bit more information of what is the page pool, non-page pool, and other bits. The Ethernet connection as well. This will show you if your throughput, the input and output of data, of network data, is being utilized. So if you are having for example, a server that is heavily used on the network, this will be a bit up, so you can troubleshoot and see what could be the reason for this. The next tab is an useful tab, and this will show you the users that are logged in locally to the server. And if you expand the left side, you will see that I have all the process, all the applications that are running on my user account at the moment. So for example, if you see a user account that has a stuck process or stuck application, from here you will be able to easily end the task, kill the process, so it can free up the resources that is taking. Of course, what you can do is you can log off the user from here. If I disconnect my session, it will disconnect me from the remote desktop, so I will just leave it for now. But yeah, you can see that if you right click on it, you have the expand, disconnect, and manage user account. So it's pretty straightforward, nothing else to be added in here. Details tab is a really good tab. In here you will see all the processes and the process IDs, the status, and a small description, the CPU and memory usage, and the username, the user that is currently using or has started this process or application. So in here you can again troubleshoot, and you can sort everything by just left clicking, and it will sort both in ascending and descending order, so it can be easy for you to monitor and be aware on what's going on in the system in real time. The last tab that I want to show you is the services tab. In here you have all of the services that are running on the server. On the bottom you can see that you can even open the console with services if you want some additional troubleshooting. In here, if you sort by status, you can see, for example, if any of the services that you want to use is not running, and from here you can start, stop, restart, and you can even search online for help and go to details. The next tool that I want to show you, I will just open it from here. It's called the Resource Monitor, and if you are familiar with Windows, this is again not a new tool. In here you have a bit more detailed information on every single component from your system: CPU, disk, network, and memory. If you expand the tabs, you will see that a lot of information is being showed up with a lot of granular details for example, network sent or received, bytes per second, and the user, the address that is going or the information is going from this address. For example, I'm using remote desktop or terminal services from my computer to this system, so you can see that it's showing a lot more information that task manager is showing. So if you want to see more details, this is the way to do it in the resource manager. If you go through the tabs on the top, you will see that every single component from the system is separated, and additional information is shown in here. So this is a great way for an administrator to get once again a real-time data from the system, or what is exactly happening in the moment with the system. The next tab, memory, again you will see the physical memory, the available, standby, what is cached, what is being used, what is reserved, and you can, for example, if you have problems with the memory, you can see if an application is doing that, is it the way it should be, or if it's not, you can troubleshoot it. If it is, for example, your server may need additional memory, so you can shut down the system, increase the memory, start it again, and monitor and confirm that indeed this has resolved the problem. The next tab is the disk tab. This is the disk activity. I've seen a lot of issues in the past with disk usage. High usage can cause many problems on the system and slow performance, so a lot of users are complaining about this. So this is a great way for you to troubleshoot the input output on the disk and what is causing it. For example, if you have a SQL server can cause high input and output, so this is another idea for you to troubleshoot, and this can be easily resolved if you have, for example, faster storages. So if this machine is on a slower storage and it needs better performance on disk related performance, it's a good idea to migrate it to a better, faster storage, even SSDs, for example. So the last tab that I want to show you is the network tab. In here I really find useful the information about TCP connections. from here, for example, if I'm troubleshooting anything with an application that is connecting outside of this system, this is the port and the local and the remote address that this system is going to connect to. So it will show which are the ports of the local addresses and local ports, and the remote address and remote ports that is connecting to. So this is a great way for you to troubleshoot any problems related to DNS, or if the address is not available, this will help you to find what could be the reason for this. And the last tab is really useful as well. This is the listening ports. I had few issues in the past with applications that are being hung and they are not listening on the proper port. So this is a great way for you to see which ports are currently listening on this server and troubleshoot if needed. So let's switch to the next tool, and this is called the reliability monitor. Okay, and I'll open the reliability history. So it's picking some information, and you can see that it's this tool is being used to show you what's the stability of the system. So with 1, it represents that the system is really not stable. With 10, you can see on the top, it shows that the system is highly stable, and the stability on the server is good. So it will show you any events. For example, you can see right here, Windows was not properly shut down. This was caused by, for example, shutdown directly on the virtual machine, or if you are using a physical server, it can be a power outage if you are not using a UPS. And it's a small tool, but handy on the other hand. So you can see, you can save the reliability history, or you can see all the problem reports, and you can check, of course, for solutions for the problems. But if an application is causing your server to hang every morning, for example, the stability and the reliability counter will drop, and this system will show that something is not right. So you need to troubleshoot and find what could be causing this. So before we switch to the big guns in the Windows monitoring, I just want to show you the server manager dashboard and the monitoring in there. If you go to local server, and I will maximize this, you'll see that you will get a overview, a good overview of pretty much most of the components that you can monitor on the server. And in here, of course, on the top you can configure the local settings on the server. It will show you any events that happened on the server with errors or warnings, and this pretty much depends on what you configure to show you in here. You can show only the critical errors that happened in the past 24 hours or maybe more, custom if you'd like, and you can configure the events that are being picked from, it's at the moment showing multiple ones from different event logs, but you can configure the ones that you really need, that for example the system is configured for. So if you have any applications on it, it's good to monitor the application log, or if you have any custom logs that are generated in event viewer, this is a good way for you to add it. If you scroll down a bit, you will see that the services once again are here at the moment, and you can stop services from here as well. You can restart them, and this is only a refresh of the services, but it's going to show you a good overview. The best practices analyzer is a good tool for your system, so you can get an overview of what is being offered as best practices from Microsoft and what is the current situation on your server. So I really recommend running a BPA scan from time to time, so it will show you if you are missing any updates or if your system is not stable and you need to check this and this, or if pretty much recommendations that are gathered over the years as best practices from Microsoft and are added into this tool. So before, I think it was Windows Server 2012, the best practice analyzer was a separate tool that you need to download and run, but this now has is being implemented into the server manager, so you can freely use it from here. So this is the performance counters, and from here you can configure straightforward easy alarms for you to be notified. For example, if you have a high CPU or high memory, or for example here you can see the CPU usage above 85%, or if the available memory is below 2 megabytes. So you can configure this. This is a small tool that can help you to get a quick overview of what's going on, and it will alarm you if there is a problem within the server. And the last tab is the roles and features. In here you will see the general roles and features that are installed, and the sub roles and features, of course. So you can get a quick overview of what is being installed on the server. If something is missing, you can remove role or feature from here. So this is a great way for you to get a quick overview with using Server Manager. So if I minimize the Server Manager and go to the Start menu and write Performance Monitor, you can see right on the top if it will show you the Performance Monitor desktop application. Or if you want, you can always open it with Run and Perfmon. This is the shortcut. So this is a good tool and a really detailed tool that can help you get a detailed overview of every single component, every single counter that Windows is able to detect from the system. So this tool is a great tool for any debugging or any specific troubleshooting that you need to perform on your server. For example, if you noticed a disk related error, here you can see or you can test and confirm what exactly is the component from the disk that is having troubles. For example, is it the queue length of the disk, or if the disk is not able to respond on time to request to write or read from it. This will give you a much more detailed information than the other tools that we mentioned. So this tool, you need to go to the Performance Monitor tab on the left side, and if I expand this, you will see that there is a graph, a real-time graph, that is giving you information about this time for the processor time. So this is the total processor time that is being used for this system, and you can pause if you can freeze the display, you can continue it. There are a lot of things you can delete or add or change the graph type if you want. So you can see you have different graph types that you can use and change, or you can view any log data. So in here you can customize the way you want to look at data. You can even change the color, for example. So the way for you to work with Performance Monitor is to get into it and start looking at the counters, and you can do this by right clicking on the bottom, and right on the top you will see that you have the Add Counters feature, so option. So you will see that under the local system I have a lot of counters being detected for different applications, for different services that are running on this system. And the processor is one of the components that you can add. So the other one is the memory, for example. If you want to look at the components related to the performance of the system, you can add different things. For example, page faults or page reads, if there are problems with the pages being read or written to the memory. And you can add these counters by clicking on them and clicking the add. So you can go, and there are a lot of counters, and you need a lot of time to work with this and to troubleshoot, to debug any information that you find, for example, to be relevant to the problem that you are experiencing at the moment. So you can see that there is the disk time, and there are even instances on this counter that you can select. For example, you have a share that is heavily used, and you can select this disk from the bottom. So this is related to WMI, or Windows Management Instrumentation, and this will get you a lot of detailed information about the system. So let me just add, for example, the disk writes for the C partition. So let's add these two, and you'll see that only the processor is being shown at the moment, and there is a small information being shown with different colors on the bottom when there is a disk write, or when there is a page write to the memory. So this is a way for you to monitor in real time what is the situation on the system. And on the left side, if you go on the left side and expand it, you will see that you have the data collector sets, and this pretty much will collect information from the system. And you can see there are a lot of configurations that you can choose from, and if you right click on it, you can start, and this will gather the information. It will collect this information, and it will present you with a report that you can save, and you can use to, for example, monitor what's the status of the server during a specific time of period. Of course, you have the system performance, or you can even go ahead and create a user-defined one that you can pre-configure, you can customize. So it will add any specific counters, for example, for any specific application, how much memory is being used for this application, or how much connections do you have to these applications on a daily basis. And you can configure this to run on a specific time during the day or during the night, and this will pick up the information, and it will collect a report that you can save, for example, on a storage somewhere, and you can have this information as a historical information for the system. On the bottom, you will see that these are the reports. I don't have any reports at the moment, and just to show you, I will just start this one, and I will leave it to run, and we can check the diagnostics report to see what's being shown. So it took around 60 seconds to gather the report and generate the overview that you are seeing at the moment. But you can see that it's reporting an error for a service that is having an unexpected code. If I scroll down, you will see that I have some basic system checks related to operating system or disk checks, and if I go to the system services checks, you will see that I have one failed test, and this is related to the service that is popping on top. If I look through the performance on the bottom, you will see that I have the status of the memory and the utilization, and it's with a yellow dot in there, because it's saying that it's normal, but it's 65% utilized. So this is a thing that I can check and confirm what could be causing this. So as I said, this is the WMI queries that it's currently doing, and it can get a really detailed overview, a really detailed picture of what's the system going through at the moment. So this is a report that you can save somewhere else. So, or you can leave them in here. They will be populated in here. So you can go and just save the report. So as I said, you can do a historical report of the system and how it did change over the weeks, days, months, or even years if you'd like. So before I move to the last tool that I'm going to show in this video, I just want to create a scenario where you create a data collector set and then create an alarm so that the alarm will log an event in your event viewer, so you will know when something is being abnormal within your system. So I'm going to use the processor usage as a name for this collector set and create a manual one. And I'm going to choose the performance counter alert and click next. And for counter, I'm going to use the processor and then processor time. So I'm going to add the total processor time and click OK. And then next, I'm going to leave the default to run this as the default, click finish. And then I'm going to right click on it and click properties. And you can see that I have all the information that you can configure additional information in here, like schedule, specific schedule, or any tasks when the data collection stops, or any specific conditions when the data collection stops. But what I want to do is I want to open the properties of the data collector itself, and under alert action I'm going to select the option to log an entry in the application event log, and this is going to be the processor usage. Okay, and I'm going to right click and start the data collector. So it's currently running at the moment, and what I'm going to do, I'm going to use a third-party tool called CPU-Z. In there I'm going to stress the CPU, so it's going to work at 100%. And if I open Task Manager just to confirm this, it's going to take some time, but you can see that the CPU is at 100% usage. So I'm going to close this one. I'm going to stop the data collector set. Okay, and then I'm going to open event viewer, and in event viewer I'm going to expand the applications and services logs, then Microsoft, Windows, and then go to diagnosis PLA, and under the operational one, if I expand a bit, you'll see that I have two errors. So you can see that it's detecting some problems within the system, and the performance counter, the processor total time, has tripped its alert threshold. And I did not specify any specific alert, so this is at 1%. This is only for testing. But you can see that it's logging an alarm, and this alarm and this threshold could be changed. If I go to properties, you'll see that I can set the alert to trigger when the processor is above, for example, 90%, and or below 1% or below 10%. So I'm going to click above 90% and click OK, and this is if I stress the CPU again, it will show again an event in here, but this is the event that you are looking for, and it will show you, for example, if your server is being under heavy load. So now that we are in the last tool, the event log, as a Windows administrator or a person who worked with Windows servers and desktop operating systems, you need to be familiar with this one. It's a great tool for you to check and see what are the statuses of different applications, different processes, different things that are working on the server, and if you expand the Windows logs on the left side, you'll see that you have different options like applications, security, setup system, and forwarded events. So if you are using an application on this server, it will log. Most of the nowadays applications log events in here, so you can monitor and confirm if the application is behaving normally or if there is an abnormal behavior. Under security, for example, you can see audits about system events, for example, log on, log off. And from here you can check to confirm what is the account or credentials that are being used. You can see that I even have the audit failure, and it will show me what's the failure about, so you can troubleshoot any specific problems. Under the system, it will show the system events, and in general, when you are looking into the system, it's going to find any problems related to any services, or for example, if your server had an unexpected shutdown, this will be logged in here. So you can see I have informational warning and error events. There could be even critical events in here if I scroll a bit, and what I can do is I can even filter this log, or I can clear it, and I can even create a custom view. On the top, the custom views are any specific roles that you've installed on the servers. On the server, they will create this custom view, so it will gather all the events related to remote desktop services, for example, or web services, IIS. So you can see that there was a comment received from NLB Nick to restart the IIS service. So this is great information for every administrator to have an overview of the system, of the events that are going on the system. And what you can do is you can even create your own custom views, as I said. So if I create a custom view, in here you have the filter you can choose only to show critical events and logged at any specific time, and go through the logs, for example the system logs. If I go really fast, so I'm going to leave everything else default, so I can create this one, and I'm going to name it new view. So you can see that I've created a custom log, and in here I have the a critical event that it picked up from the system. You can see that you can filter all of the important things and remove the things that are normal operating system tasks that are done during the day. So it can be helpful for every administrator. Even if you go and expand the applications and services and expand Microsoft and then Windows, you will see you have a lot of logs for different services related to the server itself, and they can help you to troubleshoot any specific problems or even debug any specific problems. So this is the video of how you can monitor the performance, and this is an overview of how you can use the tools that are built in within Windows Server 2016 to monitor the performance, to troubleshoot and diagnose if there are any abnormal things happening in the system. This was Nick from NLB Solutions. If you like the video, you can always hit the like button, subscribe to the channel so you can receive emails when I upload new videos. If you don't like it, you can always hit the dislike button and leave a comment on what can be improved. Thank you very much for viewing, and see you in the next video.